Hey y'all, my name's Justin. Welcome to Red Oak Farm. So I was out here a couple days ago trying to get International 656 running. Wood started to light off, and then it just quit. No smoke out of the stack. So I'm assuming it's a fuel related issue. Well, today we're gonna change the fuel filters in it, try and get it running. All right. So with this being a diesel model, it's a International D282, and here are your filters: primary, secondary. So you got to change them both. And what you got to do first before you even get started, see in there, this little thing right here, shut your fuel off. If not, you're going to make a real big mess. Then underneath, they actually set you up with trains. Takes a 7/16 wrench and you just break it loose. Might be a little easier with a ratchet wrench, but I don't have them. You take your drain plug out. There's little bleeders on top. It might be airlocked. So we're going to loosen up the bleeder on top and let the fuel drain out. I'm doing my best to catch it, but it seems to want to just drain everywhere but where it's supposed to. Guess we can get started on the second one. Loaders make things a little bit more difficult. Kind of nasty. So I had bought this tractor, just brought it home a little over a month ago. This is January 16th, 2025. And I haven't done anything to it. Figured I'd bring it home and work it a little bit and figure out its quirks and kinks and go from there. Didn't really think this would be my first issue, but it has been below freezing for about 2 weeks now, and I don't run this every day. Wonder what size that one is. Looks to be that size. Top cap is a 5/8. I'm just going to loosen them up. And you should be able to turn them out by hand. Alright. See what these filters look like, because I have no idea. The cap don't even want to come off of there. There we go. Yeah, that side's not too terrible. Oh my. I guess I should have drained the water out of them, huh? Jeez, no wonder why she didn't want to run. there's a bunch more in there too. Let's see if I can show y'all. Look at that. Huh. Well, let's see what canister number 2 has in store for us. That's a rookie mistake. I should drain the water out of them. That's not too bad either. Let's sit this down here. Oh man. I told y'all it was cold. Jeez. And it's got the same story to it. Nice and froze up in there. Alright, well I got a rag. I'm going to try and get down in here and pull this up in big chunks. Can't leave that in there. I'm going to move this stuff out of the way before I drop it on the ground and lose it in the snow. Well, lesson learned on this one. I should have drained the fuel filters out. They probably would have lasted a bit longer in this cold weather. But I think I'm going to try something a little different here. I'll put these plugs back in the bottom. I have some Diesel 911. It's meant really for gelled up fuel, but I'm going to try and use it to break up some of this ice at the bottom of these and see if I can't use it to rinse it out. Oh, come on now, hold your tongue right. Get a loader, they said. Alright, that's back in there. Snug. Now, I don't know if this is going to work like I hope it does, but I know the liquid in this bottle right here is warmer than that ice. So, worst comes to worst, it'll at least melt it that way. Pour some in both of them. Alright. Let me get something to swish around in there a little bit. Guess I'll just have to use my finger. Oh yeah, that seems like it worked. Alright, that rag is nice and soaked full of ice particles now. I'm just going to take snowy wrench here. And drain that liquid back out. And we'll grab another rag and wipe them out, make them nice and clean. Oh, what a mess. But again, my fault. Alright, I think I got most of it out of there actually. If you have to do this, I wouldn't recommend using warm water. I'd use some type of diesel treatment or even diesel fuel itself. Just something to warm up the ice, and then it'll turn back into a liquid and you can drain it out of the drain holes. Yep. I got it, well, pretty much all of it out of there. At least that side. A couple little chunks still flying around, but that's okay. I don't know if these are meant to be water separators, but they are this time. This tractor, I'm sure before I bought it, sat for a good long time. And that's why all that water was in there. Ooh, it's cold on the hands. All right. I feel much, much better about that now. I'll give you all a look-see. Much cleaner. No more ice chunks. I see one more little piece in there I'll grab. Yeah. Okay. Now that that's all done, I think we're ready to start putting them back together. Alright, so these filters come from Napa. They're like $16 a piece in my area. And they came with a new gasket. I guess some do and some don't. Mine, luckily, did. Oh, this, I'm assuming, got to sit back down in here. Yeah, it fits down in there. And the next trick is to get the filter centered and get your bolt started. Make sure your bleeder is up on the very top, or else it won't bleed all the fuel out. We're just going to snug it down. Give it a couple little twists so everything seats. And grab the other one. And if you need to know the part number, it's FIL 380 or 3080. Sorry. Get this. They don't really take very good care of their gaskets. They kind of come all crinkled up. Sometimes you could flatten them out by putting them in a book overnight or something like that, but I didn't do that. Try it this way then. if it'll stick in there any better. All right. Oh, my gasket fell off. Not a very good deal here. There we go. Get started. Get our bleeder up on top. Snug it down. I do not know the torque spec. I'm just making them tight. Not so much that you're gonna strip the threads out, because they're like brays at the bottom of this canister here, and if you crank them too tight, it'll pull that center rod out through the top, and then you have to get a whole new setup. So don't make it too tight, but tight enough where it's not going to leak. Alright, now I gotta put my drain plugs back in. And then we have to bleed everything. Which, from what I hear, is pretty simple. I've never done it before. We're going to make sure our bleeder screws are all the way open. We're going to turn our fuel back on. Alright, you should start to see fuel coming out of these bleeders. Once you start to see fuel coming out of them, it should be this primary first, then the secondary, and then we're going to have to bleed over here next to the injection pump. It'll probably take a couple of minutes, but that's okay. I'll just finish tightening up these drain plugs down here while it's doing that. Oh, see, we got one already bleeding out. We're just going to tighten that down. Didn't take very long. This one should be coming here soon. Maybe. Oh, there we go. Alright. That one's bled. Now, we gotta do the same to this little guy right here. This is your line coming from your secondary filter into the injection pump. You gotta crack that open, do the same thing, let it all bleed out, get all the air out of it. That way the injection pump doesn't go dry. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. I guess it's size crescent wrench today. Now this shouldn't be very tight. Yeah, it's not very tight. But my crescent wrench is a bit too large. And we got some dripping. It's good. I see a couple little air bubbles coming out. All right. Snug this back down a little bit. And wipe these filters off. Make sure it ain't leaking nowhere. Snug this up. Nice and snug. Nice and snug. I know I snugged the bottoms already. All right, let's see if she'll start. Those are bad. I didn't realize they were that bad. Almost. Needs a little bit more glow plug. Definitely a lot more smoke than what I was getting the other day. Third time's a charm. Well, I'd say that fixed it. Thanks for watching, y'all. I got some work to do.